Hi guys, and welcome to another deload stream. I hope you're all really well. The Game Week 9 treated you fantastically. We have reactions back with us, but just before we get going, I want to say thanks to everyone who's been supporting the channel. I've been doing really well recently. I've had a lot of fun the last couple of nights chatting on Spaces. If you guys have been listening on Twitter, Rubby Ducky has been doing a few Spaces and they've been a lot of fun. So if you've been involved in any of those, then, you know, give me a shout out in the chat and I'll say hello. It's been amazing last couple of days being amongst the community and chatting to you all. And I think it's been one of those weekends where if you've been on the right side of things with mental health, then it's been like a really good weekend for you. But obviously I can, you know, well imagine the opposite side of it as well. So just want to put it out there that, you know, FPL is just a game. Do look after yourselves. Do look after your mental health. And on that note, I'm going to bin. I'm not going to bin him. I'm going to bring in reactions. And today he couldn't join us on camera. I'll let him explain why in just a second. So, reactions, buddy. How are you doing?
Hi Nymph, hi guys. Yeah, really good actually. Apart from the little one's stolen my camera, put it somewhere, probably his toy box, which is 2 feet long,
I love that.
deep. So yeah, it's a shame really, but yeah, it's a better picture of me, isn't it? Anyway, so let's do this.
Nah, we'd much rather have you on the video. But you know, if the kid steals the camera, the kid steal the camera. What can you do? What can you do? There's absolutely nothing you can do in that situation. So, I think we'll start then, as we normally do, with looking at the Kings of the Game Week. And we always start with the keeper. And Martinez absolutely smashed it out of the park, didn't he, this week? How crazy was that save from the penalty spot?
It's just immense, isn't he? I think when Martinez has a penalty, when an opponent has a penalty against Martinez, and you're an owner of Martinez, you must be looking at it thinking he's going to save this because he's just so immense, isn't he? He's just ridiculous.
Crazy. It's just, he proper gets into your head, doesn't he? Like, proper. You can see him just psyching out whoever's stepping up to that spot and it's like telling him, you ain't going to do it.
Yeah, he loves it.
So I was just probably the best kind of situation for anyone who was an Arsenal fan and a Martinez owner, wasn't it really?
I think anyone that did sort of buy Martinez at the start of the season and have held him, feel like they deserve that penalty save, the commitment to Martinez.
That's very true. Yeah. If you've had him this long, then fair play to you for sure. Okay, then let's move on to the defence, and it's something you'll be quite happy to see as a Chelsea fan. 2 of your boys making it into the Kings of the Game Week there with James and Chilwell. Talk us through your thoughts on them.
Yeah, I just think they're both sort of coming into themselves in terms of potential now, and I think if we played them everywhere, similar to Liverpool with Trent and Robertson, even though, you know, that's not me saying they're similar in terms of quality. If Chelsea held these and left wing back, right wing back for years, they could, you know, really do well in terms of points. But yeah, goals for both. I think you know, something was expected of them this week, is on top of clean sheet, the opponent being Norwich anyway. But yeah, if you haven't got one of these lads in your team, they are definitely worth considering. Definitely one of them anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I see something weird going on with my camera on screen, guys. Can you let me know if it's actually the same on stream? Let me know and I'll try and fix it, although I can't really see. I seem to have one moving part of my head and one still part of my head. Ooh, yeah, Halloween. What's going on there?
Your neck is very still.
That is odd. That is very odd. Okay. Interesting. Yes, so I got Chilwell in this week. Very happy to have got a little chilly with him, I have to admit, on my wild card. Extremely happy. James, like, do we feel that James is more of a rotation risk than what Chilwell is? You chat a little bit about that while I try and sort my camera out.
Yeah, so how I feel really going forward in terms of the back line is that we've seen that Chelsea are very strong at the back, and Rudiger's, he's a very safe option. He's a very good option. Will barely be rotated. I think the assist for the penalty that he won was a little bit lucky. But yeah, in terms of attacking potential, we are looking at James and Chilwell now. James, obviously, with Azpilicueta also being able to play right wing back, right centre back. Christensen can play right centre back as well. It does sort of mean that the chances of James being rotated out of his position more likely than Chilwell, because there's sort of less people fighting for positions on that side of the pitch. Now, if we see Alonso start against Southampton in the cup this week, I would imagine that it would mean that Chilwell he starts on the weekend, which is huge. I'm also looking at Alonso, thinking I'm not seeing him getting back into the team. I feel like he gave Alonso a bit of time, was it last week, 20 to 30 minutes last week, because he sort of felt sorry for him not to keep him fit. But yeah, I can just see Chilwell playing that position now, and I think as long as you've got a good bench, at least the first good sub, Chilwell, he has to be in your team.
Yeah.
For me.
That's good. I like hearing about it. Should be sorted now, guys, by the way, hopefully. Yeah, I agree. And I'm very happy to have him in my team. And I've got both him and Rudiger. So I quite like the fact that I can see how it goes and then maybe move one on if rotation becomes a massive thing. But at the moment, it feels better to have them than to go without, and then can figure it out down the line, sort of thing. Okay, moving on to Cresswell. So I do know that Dizzy had Cresswell coming in off of a bench, so 12 points off the bench is not a bad shout, really, is it? You can't be unhappy about that. And to be honest, that last minute goal actually benefited me with Alonso as well, with Antonio as well. So very happy to have had that Cresswell cross into the box for Antonio there. Any thoughts on whether Cresswell's an actual option, Lewis? Would you consider him for your team?
I feel like Cresswell in that 5.5 million bracket has sort of been the only one of the only players in that bracket to actually perform to a decent standard. We look at the likes of Shaw, Dean. And Cresswell he's the fourth highest scoring defender in the league so far. So he's ahead of the likes of Rudiger, Azpilicueta, Diaz, Dunk, Laporte. All these sort of household net defender names. And I think he's slightly being overlooked within the sort of elite community. But yeah, he keeps ticking away. He can get assists, he can get some clean sheets, and he showed yesterday that he can do both. So I think he's a great option. I think anyone with him, even with the fixtures, could easily hold. Yeah.
No, I do agree with all of that. He is somebody going a bit underlooked, I think. And often is, really, I think, by the FPL community until he gets a good run of fixtures, and then everyone's like, "Oh, remember Cresswell?
Yeah.
Remember that guy?" And then they kind of all get him in his team. So so Dizzy, you're doing good to be on him early there. Okay, and moving on to the midfield then, and your man Mount leading the first of the row there. And any thoughts? Did you even consider Mount yourself?
No, I think I just want to. I don't want to. I'm very realistic as a Chelsea fan, especially as a Chelsea FPL manager. I can say that one was a deflected goal, one was a missed penalty that Jorginho should have took. So on any given day, and it was against Norwich. He's been off form. He had an injury, slightly off form. He wasn't great against Malmo midweek. So if you didn't bring him out into your team, there's no surprises why you didn't bring him in. There was a lot of hype around Havertz as well.
Yes, I was one of the ones that had Havertz.
And I think, and so was I. I think you look at this, and this is I think this had a large part to do with this mental health stuff you were talking about earlier in the intro, that went against a lot of people, and I think you've just got to look at that. I think that is unlucky, for a 7-0 win against Norwich. Whether you captained him or didn't, it's it's very unlucky. 7-0. Yeah. And the only player who didn't return on the pitch is Kai Havertz. It's unlucky. It's not.
Well, technically, he got clean sheet points. So,
well,
Yeah.
I mean, even I appreciated those points. But, I think looking at Mount in terms of going forward, he will tick away. He will probably tick away nicely. Havertz still, I think, in my opinion, very explosive, and I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Newcastle on the weekend and exploded with goals, because although he looks very sort of lazy in the way that he plays, it's more silky. It feels more of like a silky way. It's hard to explain with Kai Havertz because he's not exactly running around really active. He's very much a clever player in his movement usually, and looks quite slow on the pitch. But I just feel that
I feel like when he knew he wanted to pass to somebody else and create like a chance or a movement, he was really good. But when the ball came to him for him to like finally do something with it, I felt like it felt like it was quite obvious that he was lacking game time, and he got a bit kind of like panicky almost with it. That's how it felt like watching it. But hopefully like another week under his belt, and then, as you say, Newcastle, and definitely won't be shifting him on. No. I will definitely keep for that, and hopefully as long as he starts and looks good, then I'll also keep him, for the next game as well. But I think there'll be a fair few people out there would have thought the Will knee-jerk from Havertz to Mount, and not sure if that's really the right way to.
No, I don't think so. No, I think with Mount, like I said, I think he'll tick away nicely, but I don't think we'll see him explode like that again much this season. But yeah, it does feel a little bit sideways, and as much as I love Mount, he's not usually a natural goal scorer. So yeah, that's why I am with Mount. He's a good option. I would stick with Havertz if you own Havertz.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so guess we can't get away from this particular stream without talking about Salah, Storm Salah. I mean, the guy is just epic, and as I say in my video that I recorded this week, and guys, do make sure you hit a notification bell on my channel for the videos coming out this week, because I do a Halloween special and it's a lot of fun. That's all I say. The graphics are a lot of fun in it, so I think you'll enjoy it a lot. And as I say in that video, I think I knew he would do something against United. That's why I had him as my vice captain when I had Lukaku still in my team and was going to captain Lukaku. But I never expected that against United. So, consider me shocked. What side of the coin did you fall on, Lewis?
I fell on the wrong side, but mine was a bit more tragic. Because obviously I record my own podcast of the week. I said I was 100% Salah for captaincy.
Oh no!
I even said that Liverpool would hammer United. I said that Salah could score multiple returns. You can listen to a podcast, and I literally said that.
Oh my gosh!
I think I did a space 10 minutes before the deadline. Did that like a little space. Something told me to change the captaincy to Havertz, and I don't know what that was, but yeah, maybe I just got a little bit too excited. Although going into this, I did think that Havertz was a very good option. Don't get me wrong, Havertz going into this week was on paper a very, very good option, especially because he was up front. Yeah. So I'm not going to sort of punish myself for that. I just think I've learned a very big lesson, and that is that you can't take the captaincy off Salah while he's in this form currently, for me.
I think though, if Lukaku had played and in that team, the way Norwich were, you can't see anything other than a couple of goals there for Lukaku. I think we'd be having a very different conversation right now. It's just that really, I do feel like it was Lukaku captaincy, and if Lukaku was out, then Salah was the next safest pick because, as you say, because of his form. But what I want to stress to anybody and everybody is that if you went anywhere else, like yourself, with the captaincy, you didn't do anything wrong. Like, that's what you felt at the time. It's whether you got swayed that way, whether you had a gut feeling that way, whether you want to just have a bit of fun with it. Like, you know, that's the swings. Havertz could have easily scored 3 goals against Norwich, you know, and Salah maybe 1 against United, and that's just FPL, unfortunately. But it's, you know, it's nothing to. It feels like it was the right call, but I don't think anyone that didn't do it should beat themselves up too much about it. I mean, obviously it's a bit different for yourself because you were thinking, you know, that Salah was going to absolutely smash out of the park, and then you switched it last minute, which is obviously going to hurt, isn't it? But but
I think what I have looked at is I have sort of thought about it from an outside point of view, and I've looked into the game. I thought that is a game, derby, that can usually go anyway. So in terms of others picking a captaincy over Salah, and looking at it that way, I think they've got the right thinking, because usually those games do go either way, and it was an opportunity to be different. And okay, it didn't work, but yeah, there's it could have gone either way, I think, for me. And again, Chelsea 7-0 without Havertz return, it's just you just couldn't write it. You can't write it, can you?
No, you can't. And it's just worth like remembering, as I was saying in the beginning, really, is that if you did captain Salah, then celebrate it and be happy about it. But there's no real point being mean to those that didn't, because, you know, you could easily be on the other end of that call and then it's not a fun place to be. So just a kind reminder there, always be as nice as you possibly can be in those situations. Okay, moving on to Phil Foden. Wow, I mean, this guy was a hard watch on the weekend. He just was everywhere, looked everywhere, was involved in everything. What's your thoughts on Phil Foden there, Lewis?
I just think we've been waiting for Foden to sort of take a centrepiece in that City team for years in terms of FPL, haven't we? We've been like, this is his year, this is his year, this is his year. But I think this could be his year. I think with De Bruyne, with the injuries and stuff, his sort of effect on the team seems to be diminishing a little bit. It might be hard for KDB lovers to hear, but it just seems to be the truth now. You know, he's less needed, and I think Foden's sort of stepping up a little bit more. He's become an all-around sort of attacking right now. I think he's versatile, can play loads of different positions, which makes him a little bit more nailed now than when he is. Obviously, with Torres out as well with the injury. For me, if you've got a good bench, I would be looking at Foden. You just need a way into that City attack, don't you? You know, they're that good. I just think you need a way in, and I think he could be the way in for us.
Yeah, I'll let you into a little secret, and I may have already brought him into my team.
Did you bring him in when he did one of those late spaces?
Yes. No.
After?
A Saturday evening, very late on Saturday evening, but I don't think I was on the Spaces Saturday. So
sounds like a drinking wine situation.
Yeah, no, I did have a few tipples when I did it. It was a bit of a brave punt, because obviously I don't yet know what the situation is with Rafinha, and I just decided to go for it because I had the exact cash. So yeah, it was quite a brave call. Without, there's a whole week of games yet to come, so anything could happen there. But it's a bit of a risk I was willing to take, and we'll see how it pans out. Okay, so the next two, a little bit out there, and it wouldn't be a Kings of the Game Week without out there picks. I mean, Cornet and Keita. I mean, either of these really FPL options, do we think, Lewis?
Not really. I think with Keita, he's just, that could have been Henderson, that could have been any, sort of low ownership player for Liverpool, played for Liverpool and just managed to scrape a couple of returns. Cornet is a bit more interesting though, because we know that when we look at Burnley fixtures, Burnley runs of fixtures, they've never really had anyone that's been quite worthy. I tweeted the other night that I think Cornet's too good for Burnley, and I think he is. So I think in terms of long stretches of fixtures, he could be well worth a punt in the future when when they have a nice sort of run of fixtures, and usually it's either Cresswell or no one, isn't it? But I feel
I mean, Burnley, their fixtures are pretty decent. I mean, Brentford and Chelsea I'd stay away from. Crystal Palace and Tottenham could go either way, but then Wolves, Newcastle, West Ham, Watford, Aston Villa, Everton, and then it gets a bit tougher after that. Yeah. But there's a little patch of green there in the middle.
And he's also only 6 million, so people sort of looking for that extra, something a little bit different and really low ownership. He's only actually 0.2% owned. So I think if you're looking for sort of enablers, around that Ben Rama bracket, I don't think he'd be such a bad punt, to be honest.
Interesting. Okay. Stick him on the watch list, people. Stick him on the watch list. Okay, moving on to our forwards then. And, wow, it just looks very much like Watford took the bacon this week, really, doesn't it? Kingy and Dennis, both up there. Kingy with 16 points, Dennis with 12. I mean, stripes galore. I mean, what can you say about this? I mean, it's just trolling at its best, isn't it? Did anyone in the chat play Dennis this week, or was he firmly on your bench? Because I can imagine he would have been a very.
I know my friend had him first bench and got him because Christensen didn't play. But yeah, in terms of that, in terms of the Watford attackers, it was a really good week for them. But just look at their fixtures and think, okay, they've got Southampton, but then they play Arsenal, United, Leicester, Chelsea, City, and it gets quite tough for Watford. And I'd even be looking at Salah and thinking, do I still want Salah for that period? But
interesting. Yeah,
we should monitor that Watford forward line though, just in case one of them cements it in terms of minutes.
Yeah, because I mean, 16 to 19 looks quite nice.
It does.
To be fair, 16 to 23 looks quite nice. So, but yeah, he's suspended now until the 7th of November. Why is that? Did he pick up a card?
Yeah. So
he picked up his 5th yellow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and look at that, 1 goal and 2 assists in 12 minutes. I mean, insane. You'd be jumping on him, really, wouldn't you, if he wasn't suspended next week? I think he'd have been one of the highest bought in this week. If not for that. Okay, Lewis, going to move on now to your team. If you would like to talk us through how you got on this week, buddy.
Yeah. So yeah, just a little bit of a difficult week for me. Well, not difficult, a strange week, because obviously the Salah captaincy swayed it. That could have been the difference between, I think it was me hitting 100 points. So I would have hit, I would have hit above 100 points if I did stick with the Salah captaincy, and that was going to change that 2 or 3 minutes before the deadline, which would have been a very good week for me. I think I was quite lucky in the fact that Trent got 10 points, Rudiger 9, and I was extremely lucky that my differential, Emil Smith-Rowe, paid off.
Yeah, he was brilliant this week.
Yeah, I like the smile because you're an Arsenal fan. But
I am.
Do you want to tell me what you thought about Smith-Rowe this week? Because I thought, he was all over the pitch, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was amazing, and he showed us this week what he's capable of as a football player. And him and Saka, I've said it so many times on this channel, but those two are the way forward for Arsenal. Literally, we have to be kind on them because they're still really young. But if we can build a team around those two youngsters, then I mean, we just need to keep them at the club as long as possible because they are only going to get better and better. And, you know, in FPL, you cannot moan at 5.5 million at the moment. And he will likely, I would have thought, go up soon, you know, if he continues to play the way he has done. And yes, I will admit he's patchy when it comes to FPL. So, like, I've got it up on screen now. I mean, since he got a goal and assist in Game Week 6 and then is 2 blanks. And before that, nothing either. So, in terms of him being a consistent returner for that 5.5 million, then there are probably others out there that potentially could be getting you more of a consistent drip feed of points.
What I do want to mention, though, is I sent out a tweet earlier that Emil Smith-Rowe had actually only scored for a return of 3 points less than Jota. He's actually scored more points than Mbeumo and more points than a few more players, actually, sort of really good players, Foden, etc. Obviously, there's a lot of variables with that. But my point is that Emil Smith-Rowe, although he may sort of go 2, 13, 2, 5, 8, he's still, for that price, he's very much under the radar, in my opinion. And I think there's been a lot of sort of hype around Mbeumo this week, but I think the difference in points is 10 points between them. And I just think Arsenal, okay, Brentford can go up against anyone and probably get some goals, but I just feel like Arsenal on their day would, you know, really beat anyone pretty well. And we saw that against Villa the other day, that on their day, they are capable of scoring a few goals. And I just think, like you said, Nim, that Emil Smith-Rowe will be amongst that. And he, to be honest, he looked like he could have scored more the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I would be a little bit concerned of rotation potentially with him because, you know, we do need to take care of him and especially when the fixtures pile up a little bit. I could imagine he doesn't get as much game time as what he's currently getting now. But that's for something to worry about in the future. And he's cheap enough to kind of hop on and off of your bench as well. So, you know, it's not a bad place to be.
I think in terms of my team, though, I think on the Friday night when he did return, I did look at my team and think, if Havertz does blank and Salah does go mad, he is my shield in a way. He you know, I've already got a double-digit haul on the Friday night. I would be feel a lot better if Salah hauls, knowing that I've got ESR's return. So yeah, in a way, he sort of saved my week, which was nice. And that was on the first day. So yeah, a return from Antonio, blanks for Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo's time is up now in terms of my team. So I need to sort of come up with some sort of plan going forward there for this week.
Yeah. Okay, guys. If you guys seen my streams the last few weeks, you have seen that I have this custom kit that was made for me by FPL Skywalker. And last week, I said that any new subscribers to the stream, I would pick out 2 people to get a free plug-in to have these free kits. And these custom kits, and the 2 people that won that were Rohan Matthew, and who else was the second one? Pippa Maru. So if Rohan or Pippa can get in touch with me, I will get you guys sorted out with FPL Skywalker, so you guys can get a custom kit like this and you can do whatever you want with it. There's loads of options. It doesn't have to be Halloween related, but yeah, just putting that back out there for you guys. And do make sure, if you're enjoying the stream, to like and subscribe, because if you do, I may pick out some more people to give discount to for that, or, you know, other prizes and things as we go along. So and your name should appear on screen as well, which is kind of cool. Okay, guys, make sure you get those questions in the chat. It's that time where we turn it over to you guys. We chat all to you and answer as many of your questions as we potentially can for you. So make sure you're getting them in and let us know what your dilemmas are this week. I'll just scroll up. So we have Styan in the chat. We have Anasiku. Focus, hey buddy, great stream with Scout the other day. Focus covered the game with Gianni, the Arsenal game on Friday night, and he was brilliant. Like, Focus is so good at commentary, he's amazing. So yes, do make sure you go check out his channel, guys, and give him a like and sub. Dizzy's in the chat, Cherie's in the chat, 72 points. That's not, like, people, like, 72 points, like, you're in the 70s, right, Lewis? And any other week you'd be like, 72 points, that's amazing. I think it's just obviously because others Salah. Kind of, because of Salah, it's kind of not made it look quite so good.
It was definitely a week where Salah sort of made or broke people's FPL reach, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Focus says, yeah, brought Vardy in and nothing. I think that was a bit of a shock for everybody, Vardy blanking, wasn't it? Potential injury, but hey, you know, as far as I'm concerned, he'll end up just hobbling back on that pitch and scoring a goal against Arsenal, because he always scores a goal against us. Like, it's just written in the stars, like, every week, like, regardless of anything. So yeah, I can imagine he'll be there by hook or by crook and scoring a goal against us. So Vardy people will feel much better next week, I'm sure. Mark's in the chat, welcome. Cherie says, hi Lewis, enjoy talking during UCL games. So that's nice. Okay. Nasakai says, my free hit had Foden, Chilwell, King, Dennis and James, and I didn't use it, but I at least captained Salah. Well, you know, at least that worked out for you. Matt says, I sold Gundogan for -4 and bench TAA, Livramento and Huang. Oh no.
Ooh. Never bench Trent. Bench Trent.
Ouch. Yeah, that's an ouchie. We'll be giving you lots of virtual hugs, Mark. Giving you lots of virtual hugs. Cherie saying hello to everyone in the chat. GV is in for Game Week 10 between Foster and Sanchez. Who should I have as goalkeeper? Okay, Lewis, what's your thoughts? Foster versus Sanchez.
Well, I mean, Sanchez showed against Man City, didn't he, that although the opponent was tough, he still managed to come away with, was it 4 points? So, yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those, isn't it? Because obviously Watford plays Southampton. So I think in terms of fixture, you sort of probably have to play Foster, don't you?
Well, I mean, Sanchez had Man City this week and he got 2 bonus points, annoyingly, because I sold him.
Yeah. I had Sanchez, so I was really happy about
that. Yeah, I bet you were. Yeah. Do we think Foster starts?
I think he's still out injured. What's his name now?
No. He's played 90 of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Granted, he's got 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. I think I'd probably go for him against Southampton. I
think so.
Yeah. I mean, even if he doesn't play, then you'll get Sanchez off the bench anyway. So it's not terrible, is it, really? Okay. He said, I left all my scorers on the bench, Cresswell and Rudiger, but still got their point as Alonso and Simicast didn't play. Oh, good times. You always love to see that. Focus. My question for today is Tierney replacement. I've had enough of Kieran. Sick note now. Ooh. So who's the best Tierney replacement for Focus then? Do we think reaction?
Well, I think you've got to look across the board at the moment. You know, you've got the likes of this because obviously, I think Tierney is how much is Tierney?
I don't know. I'm gonna go have a look. He is 4.9.
So he's dropped now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't imagine there being a lot of
Chalobah's the highest. Janssen, maybe. I mean, Brentford's fixtures look so good.
Yeah,
Burnley, Norwich, Newcastle, Everton. Yeah, Tottenham, Leeds. I'd probably get in on that defence there. Focus if it was me having a go. And Janssen likes the odd assist as well. He's got 3 assists so far this season. So, probably what I would do.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that Brentford defence is something I'd probably want to look at over the next couple of weeks. And I think obviously Janssen is a great pick and he's affordable as well. Unless you go for Livramento, who is proven to be pretty
he's got Cresswell, Rudiger and Livramento already.
Okay. So in that case, yeah, I think I agree with you, in the fact that we should be looking at the Brentford defence. Or maybe even Tomiyasu. I feel like he's
you
good.
could go sideways for another Arsenal defender, and Tomiyasu is definitely up there as a potential option. Mark suggested Cancelo, but it's whether Focus has the money for that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay. Mark says his back 5 is Trent, Cancelo, James, Azpilicueta, Livramento. Nuclear's in the chat. Hey, Nuclear buddy, hope you're well. FPL Focusers. Havertz owners were very unlucky. Myself and Lewis completely agree. Nuclear says, yo, Chelsea fan, do you think Havertz has any chance of hauling, or will Mount take all the glory again?
No, I think Havertz will sort of, because what's interesting is we need to keep an eye on the midweek cup game.
Yeah.
Because if I was looking at it from Tuchel's point of view, I would be playing Havertz in both matches to get his sort of match fitness, his sharpness, his confidence back. So if he plays the Southampton game, I would probably be happier, which is strange because usually when you play players midweek, they don't play on the weekend. However, in the case of Havertz, we haven't got many options up front. So Havertz will definitely play, regardless whether he plays in the midweek game or not. So yeah, I think if he scores against Southampton, he'll have that confidence going into Newcastle, who are defensively, really bad. So
yeah. Okay. FPL focuses in an alternative universe. It's Lukaku that gets the hat trick. Yeah, absolutely. And Mctavius, hey buddy, in an alternative universe, Palace won a game. Yeah, there's been a lot of draws for poor old Palace recently. Okay, JCND, Sa to Foden, question mark. I mean, that's a hard yes for me. What about you, Lewis?
I think when you're looking at a way to get into that Man City attack, which it looks like everyone's going to need one soon. It's hard to look past Foden, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Super duper. Hey, buddy. Why is Kings of the Week page on the whole time? Can we look at the teams and plans or some slides and advice? Well, here we are, buddy. Hope this is helping you. Ray, welcome to the chat. Oh, yes, Ray's had a bit of a break, so folks are saying, I hope you've enjoyed it. Just checking. Since Man United and Spurs will have long good run of fixtures around the same time rather than going for Sun, is going for Greenwood and Reguilon to cover both grounds equally a good move, Nuclear asks. What's your thoughts on that, Lewis?
See, I've been very much in the air about Greenwood all season. I've been like, okay, he's a great option. Then will he play? Oh no, he's a great option again now. Will he play again now? So I think it's interesting, isn't it, that we look at United, they're not great at the moment. There's a lot of variables to United getting back in form, a new manager, etc. But I think if we're looking forward, Greenwood probably isn't a bad option in my opinion, because the others are just too expensive to trust, if that makes sense. So even though United have great fixtures in 15, I would probably still want to put my money elsewhere because there's also other good fixture runs, if that makes sense. So I think Greenwood could be a good option. We'll obviously have time to watch his minutes in the next couple. But in terms of now, I'm not too sure, and I'm not really keen on the Tottenham defence either, to be honest.
I was owner from 5 to 7, and that was like quite a tough little run to have Greenwood in my team. Rashford, however, looked quite good since coming back as well. So he could be one to keep an eye on. Obviously, he's a bit more expensive. I don't dislike the Greenwood idea, but I'm not sure I could weigh at Greenwood over Son. Okay, there's a lot of difference in price there, but personally, I think I'd prefer Son for Spurs' good fixtures than I would potentially Greenwood. However, hopefully I've structured my team in a way that I can have Son and then maybe still have somebody like Greenwood as well. So that's kind of what I've done, so that I leave the options open for myself, and then I can make a decision whether that's getting off of Foden, getting off of Havertz, hopefully.
Can I just mention that I do think that looking at a Spurs plan is a really good idea.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's a lot easier for the likes of for the owners that have like Ronaldo, Lukaku. They're easy swaps to sort of Kane. That's even if you wanted Kane.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit harder to sort of get Son in if you've got the heavy strikers, because it just means sort of a lot of messing around. But I just think if we start looking at it now and start planning for Son now, it would make life a lot easier when it comes to game week 11, because they come up against Leeds.
Game week 12, yeah. 12. And that run there, I mean, for Spurs, Leeds, Burnley, Brentford, Norwich, Brighton, Leicester, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Southampton, Watford, Arsenal. I mean, the way I've tried to do my wild card is so that if I want to have the double up on both Kane and Son for that run, I can. It's going to be a little bit more difficult now. I've gone via Foden, but there is still potential to be able to do it that way. At the moment, I'm happy to just have one. So I'm happy to have Son, just based on looking at the way Spurs are at the moment. But I think once they get into some of these easier fixtures and they start getting a bit of confidence behind them and a bit more of a flow behind them, almost a bit like Arsenal, once they got into their easier fixtures and they got their flow back, Son and Kane are firing again, I think we'll easily see people wanting to double up on that particular run. I mean, Son, whilst he is over 50 points less than Salah, he is the second highest point scorer of the midfielders. So, you definitely want to be thinking of a plan, I think, for Spurs. So I would probably, go more Spurs than anyone else there.
I think it's important to try and roll transfers as well. Because if you do want Son, then because a lot of people at the moment, what I wanted to mention was a lot of people are sort of in between whether they want Kane or Son at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you're rolling the transfers, it gives you the opportunity to give them a bit more time to monitor them both, and then you can sort of make that move with 2 transfers, maybe a game week before. So yeah, I really want 2 transfers going into game week 12 or 11, to just sort of prep for Son or Kane and which one I want, because to be honest, none of them are really shouting out to me at the moment. Spurs aren't shouting out to me, but we know for a fact that as soon as they hit that run of fixtures, they're both inevitable. In my opinion, I think we'll both see them. We'll see them both return. But obviously, trying to pick between which one is difficult.
Isn't it just okay. So then we had Stuart in the chat said, Salah saved my weekend. I was doing so badly before it. How's the injury situation for everyone? He's got Rafinha, Vardy, and Mbeumo.
So I know that Mbeumo got cleared.
Oh, that's good.
He got cleared, I think, by the manager today. I think, or was it yesterday? I saw
That's
something
good.
shared by Scout to just say that it was just a precaution and he got took off.
Okay.
Vardy, I saw that Rogers said that he had a bit of discomfort in his knee, and he could tell he wasn't playing right.
Mm-hmm.
But he said he was okay after that. But he's more of a will see. And then Rafinha posted on Instagram saying he's okay, but again, we can never trust self diagnosis, can we?
Oh,
From a player.
I'm hoping not anyway, considering I've already sold him, so I'm hoping. He's just like, I'm fine, I haven't broken a leg, but I'm still out 3 weeks, kind of vibe. But knowing
I,
my luck against Norwich, he'll be back
well,
and
I
firing.
need him too. I need him too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much in limbo. So he sort of, what happens to Raf is sort of leading my transfer plan at the moment, because if he's fit against Norwich, I can only imagine the damage he's going to cause, especially if Bamford's back as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Folks says, thanks, Nim. Also, think he says, if you're selling Lukaku, are you having a cheaper striker? If so, where would you put the money into midfield? For who?
Well, luckily, this is something that I've been thinking about myself, because obviously, as an owner of Ronaldo, he's just not at it. He's not performing. It was his fourth blank in a row. So that Ronaldo would either be a switch to Kane early, but again, I want to sort of monitor that situation. I don't want to sort of put all my eggs into Kane, and then Son starts scoring, a brace every game or something in the lead up to the good fixtures. So I have actually looked at alternatives. I think someone like Brozier at Southampton could be an interesting move. I think really cheap. He gives you a bulk of budget actually to be able to upgrade somewhere in your midfield for Son. Another one that I think's gone under the radar lately, and that's because of tough fixtures, as it is potentially Danny Ings. A move to Danny Ings from Ronaldo would again give me money to upgrade the midfield into Son. And Aston Villa actually play West Ham, Southampton, Brighton, Crystal Palace for that little 4-game run, which I'm not fully worried about West
Would you
Ham.
consider Watkins instead? I mean, he got a goal and assist in the last 3.
Yeah, definitely.
Bit cheaper than Ings.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's an interesting option. Obviously, that's providing you own Tony or Mbuemo, because I think if you don't own Tony or Mbuemo, I would imagine that the straight swap from Lukaku to Tony would be my primary swap.
Yeah, my one that I don't have that I really would like in my team, if I could, would be one of the Wolves forwards, either Hwang or Jimenez. Hwang, for his price and playing the minutes he's playing, is just epic, and obviously we all know what Jimenez can do on his day. Possibly, potentially a little more nailed than Hwang, although I have seen some quotes saying that he's getting managed at the moment. So yeah, I would consider Hwang there as a potential, and I think a lot of people as well quite like the look of Daka from Leicester as another cheap option around that Iheanacho. I think he hasn't played the minutes, but 13 minutes last week and he got a goal, and 45 minutes this week and he got an assist. So I think a lot of people are kind of thinking, oh, potentially if he starts to get more minutes, if Vardy is, of course, injured, that he could be like a potential option there.
Sure.
My chat has completely scrolled up on me, so now I have to find where I am again. Okay. Marcus says Son and Tony or Mbuemo and Kane. Oof.
That is a very tough question, because a lot of debates actually in the community are which one, Mbuemo or Tony, Son or Kane. It's tough, isn't it? Because between we're okay at the moment because we sort of have time, don't we, to monitor between Son and Kane, and until that fixture swing. So in terms of Son or Kane, it's very much 50-50 for me until one of them sort of shows me more in the next 2 games. I'm slightly leaning towards Son, I just feel that you'll probably get similar points between Son and Kane, and he'll also give you money to upgrade the back line potentially. But yeah, Mbeumo or Tony is definitely a tough one. But again, my personal preference is Tony. Just feel like with the penalties, it feels like the decider.
Yeah. I think I'd probably have to go Son and Tony, probably too. So. But then I have Mbeumo, so, you know, it's a little easier for me in that respect. But yeah, I think they'd be the two that I'd probably lean towards as well. But of course, if it doesn't work out, you know, and you've got the money for one, just as Lewis was saying, roll them transfers. You can always switch back the other way if you feel that the other way is, you know, is more. Obviously, you wouldn't want to be doing it every week, but you had them for a couple of weeks and you'd prefer the other combination, just monitor it, and then if you got two transfers, you can always do the old switcheroo back again. Okay.
Yeah, I think transfers are going to be really important over the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. Cherie says, could try answer my question. Curious what Lewis would say about Ronaldo. Keep for maybe Newcastle, or bounce or sell for a -4.
I feel that Ronaldo's had too many chances now. I feel like his sort of competition is the Champions League. He lives for that. He is, I do a lot of content around UCL fantasy, and he's so inevitable in the Champions League. This is a different competition, and he just doesn't look as at it in the Champions League. It's an interesting contrast actually between the two, because totally different player in the Champions League. So for me, I'm at a point now where I would be looking to get rid of Ronaldo. I just think that we need to put that money elsewhere. I think the back line, you've got the likes of Chilwell, Cancelo, Reece James, all performing to height, all double-digit haul-in, and you've got the likes of Son and Kane coming up quite soon as well. So the quicker Ronaldo shifts out, I think the better. Although there's an argument that Tottenham have a poor defence, I'm just not keen on Ronaldo.
Yeah, I mean, be considering maybe bringing him back on that 14 onwards. I think for me, it's going to be a decision between potentially Ronaldo or Kane. For that nice run that they then get off of that, which is just as tasty as Spurs. But
what is important to know, what I just wanted to mention as well, that if players did decide to go for Son over Kane, it does actually give them an extra couple of million to bank for that United run as well, which could be nice.
Yeah, cool. Okay, we have folks says, love the Anson Tomiyasu shouts. Stuart says, Wilson dilemma yet, Nim? Ooh, Stuart, yeah, he's been ticking away, hasn't he, as Wilson. I'm sure my mods can get a Wilson emoji in the chat for you guys, because they should have access to it, as should my members. But yes, he's been ticking away nicely. He looks good, but I think the situation at Newcastle, with things being a little up in the air, it's kind of made me potentially think I'm not too sure yet. But you can't moan at 2-2. It's the fact that other than that kind of Norwich and Burnley game, I'm a bit kind of unsure. I think he's definitely up there with a Jimenez, or probably Jimenez, because I'd say Tony's probably just a tad bit above both of them. I think he's up there with Jimenez as a potential choice on which one to go for. It's not a dilemma yet for me, just because I've been hurt so much in the past by him. But what about you, Lewis? Are you considering Wilson at all?
I'm not considering no, but what is important to mention actually that Newcastle, I think, have only failed to score once this season,
Mm.
and that was against Villa in game week 2. So yeah, in terms of goals, they are scoring goals, and they've scored against some great teams. Well, I say great, United being one of them. But yeah, to be honest, they had nice fixtures during that run. Their fixtures change soon, don't they? They play the likes of Brighton. They just get really tough fixtures. So for me, I think I would be targeting a better run of fixtures. Like you said, Tony, maybe, and yeah. So not for me personally.
Okay. JCND says Foden or Havertz or Mount. So he's deciding between the 3.
Oh, that is a tough one, isn't it?
It is
There's
a tough
two of
one.
them are Chelsea players. What is interesting is I do like the Chelsea fixtures. We know that City probably attacking. They play Palace, but then saying that United. Every time I see United as a fixture, I think that's tough, and I think no, it isn't. But yeah, they play Everton, West Ham, Villa. Yeah, City. I mean, looking forward, they do have a long stretch, nice
They
fixtures.
really do, yeah.
Mount less explosive. Havertz, haven't seen evidence of explosiveness yet, but I would assume that in the next 2 weeks he won't be. He will be a non-asset anyway because of return of Lukaku. So have to narrow it down by process of elimination to Foden, probably, who will likely score plenty of goals and get a lot of attacking returns.
Yeah. So we have Stuart saying bank holiday here in Ireland, so I'm able to tune in. Oh, awesome. Irvi says, welcome Irvi, and you're a new face, I think, so if you haven't subbed, please do. Should I keep Lukaku since he might be back for Newcastle on Saturday? Have you heard anything about Lukaku there?
Yeah, so I heard it wasn't serious, but I heard it was less than what originally the Chelsea community thought. However, knowing that Tuchel has a fully capable side without Lukaku, attacking wise, I don't think he will be rushed in at all. I can't see him playing. He definitely won't play Southampton, and I don't see him playing the Newcastle game. Probably not the Champions League game, but I think he could potentially be back for maybe game week 11. No, yes, game week 11.
Okay.
That's what I'm. Some of the rumours that I'm hearing anyway that he could be back for game week 11.
And who's that again?
Yes, so I think game week 11
Burnley.
is
Oh, nice, nice.
But then it's Leicester and United.
Yeah, and then Watford, but the thing is, after that, then West Ham, Leeds, Everton, Wolves, Aston Villa, Brighton. I mean, Lukaku for them.
He's definitely someone that you shouldn't forget about. That's what I'm going to say, because I think if he is back for game week 11, and I think he will be back, I think he probably will be back for game week 11, probably definitely for 12. I'm probably not looking at Leicester United thinking they're tough games. So yeah, but then you've got the likes of Kane that swings in around that time. So tough decisions ahead, I think. But yeah, in terms of Lukaku for Newcastle on Saturday, I don't think personally that's going to happen.
Agreed. Okay, guys. I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. Last question. McTavius says, been any word on the Vardy injury? Heard it was a hamstring in warm-up that he struggled with in first half. Have you heard anything else other than that?
I heard it was a knee.
Oh, okay. That's what Focus is saying too.
Which Rodgers said it wasn't that bad. So we'll just see. I think we just have to wait for press conference on that one.
Yeah. Okay then, well, as always, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's joined us in the chat. Really appreciate it. Hope we've helped you out with some of your questions this week. I want to say a big thank you to Lewis for joining me. I will make sure I get a link to his Twitter page in the description below, so make sure you go and check him out. But Lewis, where can they find you on Twitter, buddy?
Yeah, so it's just at FPL Reaction. That's where you can find me.
Yeah, cool.
Post a
And
lot. Tweet a lot.
You
All day,
tweet a lot.
every day.
All day, every day.
It's quite annoying, actually. I lose a lot of followers and gain a lot of followers at the same time. It's quite funny watching them fluctuate.
Going in and out.
Quite amusing, but yeah, you can find me.
Brilliant, brilliant. So make sure you go and check him out, everybody. And if you've enjoyed watching the stream, please do like and subscribe. Honestly, it costs nothing and it really helps us YouTubers out. So, you know, it means a lot to us. And have a fantastic, fantastic game week 10. I will be back, I think, tomorrow, potentially Wednesday, but tomorrow if I can get the editing done with my team selection video. So keep an eye out for that. And later in the week, I will be doing my 5 things with Fergie. So make sure that you hit that notification bell and it'll send you a notification when anything is happening on my channel. But until then, guys, goodbye from me and goodbye from Lewis.
Yep, see you later, guys. Thanks for tuning in, as usual.
Thanks, guys. Catch you later.